All right, so in this video, I'm going to be going through a riff that we can play using the major part of a blues scale, sort of the blues riffs. So normally, a lot of times we'll start on the minor blues. So I'm going to work this in the key of F because the pattern that I'm going to do is going to be the same on the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord in terms of the way your fingers go. But take a screenshot of this if you need it. This is the notes that we're going to play when we're going to be playing major blues in F. And major and minor get very tricky when it comes to the blues because a lot of times you're mixing them together. So on that 1 chord, you can play the flat 3 and pull it into the 3rd, and that's going to work. Usually in music, you're either playing a major chord or a minor chord, but in the blues, there's a lot of exceptions. And knowing those exceptions is how you can do a lot of the cool stuff. So let's take a look at my little map here for playing major riffs in F on the blues, and notice that in addition to the 1, 3, 5, F, A, and C, I also have this blue note for the flat 3, the minor 3rd, and I have a blue note for the flat 7, which makes an F7 chord, F, A, C, and E flat. And those notes really give it that bluesy feel. That's what makes this a blues riff that I'm playing right now and not just a major riff or a rock riff or whatever. So the pattern that we're going to do is we're going to be using the 5, 6, and flat 7, which on F is C, D, and E flat. Now, since we're going to be repeating that on the 4 chord and the 5 chord, you need to know that on B flat, the 5, 6, and flat 7 is F, G, and A flat. So we're going to repeat this riff on the 1 chord, the 4 chord, on the 5 chord. So on the 5 chord, which is C in the key of F, we're going to be playing on G, A flat, and B flat. So screenshot these if you need them, but you're going to need to know this on the 5 chord, the 4 chord, and the 1 chord to play this riff throughout the progression. It's not a complicated riff. Your finger position is exactly the same for all 3 chords. That's why I'm doing this in the key of F. All right, so with your left hand, you can just play the major chord that goes with where we are in the blues progression. So the 1 chord is F major, F, A, C. When we go to the 4 chord, and you can play it with the E flat, but you don't really need to because it's in the right hand riff. So the basis riff that we're going to do, we're going to play the F major, and the riff goes like this. Okay, so that's E flat, D, C, D, E flat, D, C. And I'm going to do a little bit of stuff to spice it up, but you can play it as simple as that. You can also add an A with the E flat to make it a little twangier. And we can get a little bit more rhythmic with the left hand if we want. So those are the levels to it. Level 1, hold the chord down. Level 2, add the A flat with the E flat. And level 3, get a little bit more rhythmically advanced and just get the feel of it and pop some rhythm in between with the left hand. Okay, so that's the riff on the 1 chord. Next, we're going to the 4 chord, the B flat major. So we're going to be playing that riff on F, G, and A flat up here. So from the F, we can just go to the B flat here, just like we would in a cadence, right? So we're going from 1, 3, 5 to 1, 4, 6, F, B flat, D. You don't need to play the flat 7, but you can. And the reason you don't need to is because it's in the riff over here. So transposing that riff to B flat, we get A flat, G, F. So same thing. And you can do all the same tricks as well. So in this, you'd be using the D with the A flat to get that tritone. And then it's going to come back to the 1 chord and repeat. Going to the 5 chord. So you can do it like a cadence, and you can play that C right there, or you can go up to this C here. Doesn't matter which version you use. And so with the C, the notes that we're going to be using are going to be G, A, and B flat. So B flat, A, G, A, B flat, A, G. So go to the 4 chord. And it's got a 5 chord on the turnaround on the backing track I'm going to use, so I just put that in there. So remember, we're going to come back to the 1 chord at the end, and then we'll just give a quick 1-5 on that last bar. So F, C. You don't need to do the riff. It's going to happen fast enough where you're not really going to have time to do the riff. So I'm going to put a backing track on, and we are going to play through this riff. I hope this is loud enough so you can hear it. Going to the C. Back to the top. That's the riff, okay? So I'm using this backing track, Funky Blues in F. I will link to it in the description of this video, so if you want to just practice with this backing track, it is a 6.5 minute long track that you can work with. I like using this type of riff in F because of the fact that that pattern is the exact same on the 1, the 4, and the 5 chord. So once you kind of learn it in F, you can just move your fingers to a different spot and you can play that same riff in C or B flat. And it's a riff that's pretty similar to something you can see in a lot of songs, pretty similar to what you hear in Rockin' Robin. All the little birds on Jailbird Street love to hear Robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Okay, so it's a useful kind of trick to have up your sleeve. And this is a trick that you can do in any blues key once you get the idea of these patterns. So I just showed you how you could do it off of C. So you could do that if you're playing blues in C on the 1 chord. And you can also do that in B flat. So if you're playing in the key of B flat, or in the key of F, or in the key of E flat, where the B flat would be the 5 chord, there's going to be a lot of times where this stuff can come in handy. And hope that is a helpful way to use some more major ideas to play some blues scales and to play some blues riffs. And one of the cooler things of the blues is being able to take the minor ideas and the major ideas and put them together, and that's where things get really bluesy, really funky.